Okay. So we all are aware about the Ekadashi, right? Okay. So what do you think Ekadashi is? I'll just keep it little interactive in the beginning and then we will go to the session. So what do you mean by Ekadashi? Anyone would like to say anything about Ekadashi? How many of you are already following Ekadashi? If you're following the Ekadashi, you can just give some reaction. You can give thumbs up or you can orally say. Okay, Rohini Mataji is following Ekadashi.
Hare
Himanshu.
Krishna Mataji, Ekadashi is very dear to Lord Krishna,
Okay.
and this is 11th day from full moon and no moon day, 11th one. It
Yeah,
comes twice in month. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it is the 11th day. जैसे हर तिथि होता है, we have every तिथि like प्रथमा, द्वितीय, तृतीय, चतुर्दशी, पंचमी, षष्ठी, सप्तमी, अष्टमी, नवमी, दशमी. So this is the 11th day of the waxing and the waning moon, दोनों का. और एकादशी is also called as Harivasha Rava. It's a day that is very, very dear to Lord Hari or the day that is very, very close to लॉर्ड हरि जो इस दिन जो है हम मैक्सिमम अपने मन और तन को अब्जॉर्प्शन करते हैं हरि के ऊपर we try as much as possible to observe ourselves in Lord Hari. And it is also called as Madhava Tithi. As we know that the other name of Krishna is also called Madhava. So Ekadashi is also called as Madhava Tithi. So what are the two main reasons for us to follow the Ekadashi? Anybody would like to say why do we follow Ekadashi? Hare Krishna. एक तो वी वांटेड टू गेट अवर कॉन्शियसनेस जो है उसको क्लेंस करना है करंटली आवर कॉन्शियसनेस इज नॉट क्लेंस्ड what is our real constitutional position jo hai we are all the eternal part and parcel of Krishna says in chapter 15 Bhagavad Gita mamevamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashishtani indriyani prakristani karshyati. So we are all as eternal part and parcels. But what is the problem that we are struggling with? Manashishtani indriyani. We are struggling with our senses and the mind. So एकादशी जो ऐसा दिन है जिस दिन हम व्रत पालन करके so we minimize our eating and we minimize our sleeping and we minimize the usage of our senses and we try to use it as much as possible in the service of Lord Hari. So, is din jo hai, we try to control our senses. Sense control karte hai. Suppose you're feeling like eating something, some non-grains. So we don't eat it because we know that that is not going to please Krishna. And बहुत लोग जो है एकादशी के दिन में अलग अलग लेवल पे रखते हैं but generally we try to minimize our regular tendency जो है जो आहार जो whatever the eating so that we could maximize our absorption in Krishna. Okay. So and what is the inner meaning of Ekadashi is to be very near and stay close to Krishna और अपने इंद्रियों को कंट्रोल करना है like we have the five working senses and five knowledge acquiring senses और अपना मन. So we are trying to control our 11 senses जो है we are trying to control it for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. So it is a day where we try to increase our maximum absorption on Krishna. And Joe Prabhupada also has said that there are two important days that fasting which is required for devotees who are in Krishna consciousness to advance. That is the two fasting days of Ekadashi. So there are generally two Ekadashis in a month, and in total, we have 24 Ekadashis in a month. And this particular Ekadashi that is going to come on Tuesday is called Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. It is a very special Ekadashi on its own, and we will talk about it towards the end of the class. Okay, so now we have several reasons why we are following the Ekadashi. So there are some scientific reasons, there are some Ayurvedic reasons, and there are some astronomical reasons, and there are also spiritual reasons. So let us try to first address one reason. First, let us take the scientific reason. Okay. So the scientists, during the study of the DNA, they found that there is a portion of DNA in our cells which is called as junk DNA. And उस DNA में कुछ information नहीं है. जैसे generally DNA जो है, it is a storehouse of information. उसमें जो हमारे whatever features are there, it is a protein about our height, about our features, about our health. Everything is stored in the DNA. But there is a portion of the DNA in our body that is called as a junk DNA. And many scientists who are generally atheists by nature, and they were making fun of the God. They said that if your God is perfect, how can he make a DNA like that which is empty, which has no storehouse of information? However, later on the research, the same scientists who were making fun of these junk DNA, they made a study. So there is a Japanese scientist who got a Nobel Prize on this study of this junk DNA in the year 2009. Okay, the name and the junk DNA is also called as telomere. So what happens in this junk DNA is the study shows that this junk DNA is acting like a case, like a shoelace है ना, उसके ऊपर we have a case. So whenever there is a case, the lace is protected. So this junk DNA जो है, it is basically protecting the DNA information by acting like a case. So it is offering us protection. And they also found that scientists are constantly looking for the ways in which we can elongate our life. So, in this process of elongation of life, they found two things that is very useful in elongation of the life. One thing is about the division of the cells. So, they found that if we are minimizing the rate of the division of the cell, then this particular um, the life of a particular person can be extended. Why? Because every time the cell is divided, what happens is a portion of this junk DNA, it is being lost. The piece of the junk DNA is being lost. Sometimes it is lost in the large portion, and sometimes it is lost in the small portions. And the scientists found that whenever there is a loss of this junk DNA, this telomere, in a large portions, what happens is the lifespan of that particular person gradually goes down. And especially the people who are eating meat, who are intoxicated, who take alcohol, and who are not having proper eating habits, it is seen that in those people, this telomere is, lost in a very rapid rate. A large pieces of the telomere was being lost. So they were trying to now understand how do we minimize this process. Either of the two things has to be done. Either the rate of the division of the cell has to be minimized, or this loss of the piece of the telomere should be reduced. So during this process, they made a study. So in the study, they had 14 people whom they took. And what they found is they tried to reduce the calorie intake of this 14 people by 25 percentage. And at the end of a month, they found that these people who have taken less calories The loss of telomere in these people were very much minimized. There was very less amount of telomere that was being lost, and the pieces were mostly intact. But there was a problem. Problem ये था कि जिन्होंने भी ऐसा 25% अपना कैलोरी intake कम कर दिया, they were getting very tired and they were not able to follow this for a longer period, and they went back to their usual diet. So the scientists made further studies, बहुत सारा studies करते रहते थे, और उसके बाद they made a study that those who are fasting for 36 hours at a stretch twice in a month, in that case, this loss of telomere is found to be minimized. And that is exactly called as Ekadashi. And this is given in Padma Puran. So now we can say, how is it 36 hours of Ekadashi? So the fasting generally starts from the previous day, from the Dasami. So from the sunset of Dasami, it starts, and then to the sunrise of the Ekadashi, it's almost 12 hours. And then the next sunrise of Dwadasi is another 24 hours. So there are roughly 36 hours of fasting that we are following for the Ekadashi. So by following this process of 36 hours of fasting twice a month, this reduction of the telomere, this loss of piece of telomere is very much minimized. So we can understand how much scientific our Shastras are. People are making fun, these people, they do not know what they are doing. They are just orthodox and they are following Ekadashi, but it is very much having relevance even in the material point of view and even in the health point of view. Okay, so now we will see what are the levels of following the Ekadashi. So there are 5 levels of following the Ekadashi. The first level of Ekadashi is following the Nirjal. So somebody who abstains them from taking anything, including the water. And the second level of fasting is fasting with the water. पानी पी सकते हैं, but they don't eat anything. They don't take any juice or they don't take any fruits or any other things. And the third level of fasting is taking some milk, some juice, some coconut water, like that. And then the fourth level of fasting is taking some solid fruits, some like apple, whatever, papaya, any fruits, every fruit is allowed to be taken in the Ekadashi other than the grains and the beans. And then the fifth level of following the Ekadashi is taking the non-grains like sabudana, varai, bagar, and all those lists. And in the end of the class, I will also share the list of the items that are allowed to be taken on the Ekadashi day, which are safe for consumption and which are not having any grains in them. So we can try to follow either of these 5 methods of 5 steps of Ekadashi. Okay, now let us go to the next reason for following the Ekadashi है जो है astrological reason. So we all know that moonlight जो है, that is the one which gives the taste to the vegetables. हमने भगवत गीता 15 चैप्टर में भी पढ़ा है, घामा विषय च भूतानि धारयाम अहम ओजशा पुष्णामि चौषधि सर्वा somo bhutva rasatmaka. So the vegetables, they get the juice because of the moonlight. Without the moonlight, the vegetables जो है, they don't become juicy or they don't become tasty. Okay, so that is why don't we see that summer season में हमको vegetables इतना ताजा नहीं मिलता है? Have we not felt that? Because we see that the summer, the day is little longer, right, compared to the night. Are we not seeing that the vegetables that we ate is little bit not so fresh and not so juicy? Okay. So what does this moon has to do with the following the Ekadashi? So we have seen that scientifically and astronomically, we have seen that during the Dasami and Ekadashi day, that is the 10th and the 11th day of the waxing and the waning moon, जो शुक्ल पक्ष और कृष्ण पक्ष के दिन में, during that time, it is seen that if you see the sea, the tides are very, very high. We can see the high tides during the Ekadashi day, during the Dasami and the Ekadashi day. So what does it have to do with our body? जो अगर हम अन्न खाते हैं, if we are taking the grains, what happens is the grains का propensity है, it absorbs lot of water in our body. So generally हमारा body जो है 70% it is already made up of water. और अगर हम grains खाते हैं, क्योंकि grains को digest करने के लिए ज्यादा water absorption रहता है अपने थन में. So what happens is there is a greater level of water in our body because of consumption of the grains. So as we know that the moon has a direct impact on the water bodies where it causes the high tides in the seas and the ocean. So हमारे तन में भी when we are consuming the grains on the Ekadashi day and Dwadashi day जो है, it creates a havoc in our body. And doctors have also found that Ekadashi day is a day where most of the disease are initiated, or it is a day when most of the disease are getting accelerated because of the absorption of water by the grains, and the moonlight is having a direct impact on our body. So that is also another reason why we should try to fast on the Ekadashi day. And जो third reason है, that is the Patanjali Sutra. Patanjali Sutra is also talking about following the Ekadashi on the 11th day. And Patanjali Sutra also has said that every 15 days जो Ekadashi के दिन में we have to follow. And sometimes, okay, this Nirjal Ekadashi जो है, Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi जो है, I will again talk about its special significance towards the end of the class, but that is kept on a different purpose. But otherwise, it is okay to take some amount of water on an Ekadashi day or any fasting day for that matter. Why do we have to consume a little sips of water, maybe lukewarm water? Is because when we are not taking any food for that matter, what happens is the acid levels जो है हमारे body में, it becomes little high. And what happened is they form of a layer around our intestine. एक scum के जैसा it makes a layer. तो इसीलिए if we are taking sips and sips of water, warm water during the fasting day, what happens is this body जो है, the scum जो है, it is which is formed on the intestine, on the layers of intestine, that gets cleared away, and naturally our body जो है वो detox भी होता है. So now we can say जो if I'm taking the water, is that I am not following the Ekadashi. So regarding this, we have a pastime in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. It is about Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. So once what happened, Amrish Maharaj jo hai, he was a very ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. He used all his senses in serving Krishna. He used his eyes only to see the deity of Krishna. He used his nose to smell the tulsi that is offered to Krishna. He used his tongue to taste the Krishna Prasadam. He used his mouth to talk about the glories of Krishna. And he used his legs to walk to the temples of Krishna, and used his hands to clean the temple of Krishna, and he used his head to bow down to Krishna. He was a very ardent devotee of Krishna. Although he was a king, he was a great devotee of the Lord. And once he, along with his wife, they were doing this Ekadashi fasting at Mathura for an year. So at the end of a year, they were about to break the fast of Ekadashi. So whenever we are keeping the Ekadashi fast, there is a Parana time which comes on a Dwadasi time. And to get the complete benefit of this Ekadashi fasting, it is important for us to break our fast during this Parana time to get the complete benefit of this Ekadashi Vrata. So during the time when Amrish Maharaj was about to break his fast, Durvasa Muni came. And as we all know that Durvasa Muni जो है वो थोड़ा शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड है उसके नेचर में, और थोड़ा भी गुस्सा होता है वो सबको श्राप देते हैं, एंड उसका नेचर ऐसा ही है. तो what happened is he entered the Amrish Maharaj palace, and he said that let me go and take the bath in the river Yamuna, and I'll do my Sandhya and come back. And Amrish Maharaj was waiting for a long time. And it was so happening that जो पारना time जो है, it was almost getting end. फिर क्या हुआ? अमरीश महाराज इज नाउ पजल, अभी मुझे क्या करना है? गेस्ट है, अगर वैष्णव अपराध हो जाएगा, दुर्वासा मुनि जो है उनके बिना अगर मैं खाना खाया तो वो भी एक वैष्णव अपराध हो जाएगा. सो ही इज इन अ डायलमा, उसको पता नहीं क्या करना है. सो ही इज कंसल्टिंग द ब्राह्मणास इन हिज मिनिस्ट्री. तो उन्होंने बोला था, राजा आप प्लीज थोड़ा सा पानी ले लो, भगवान का जो चरणामृत है, जो भगवान के चरण में जो धोया हुआ पानी है, आप उसको ले लो. बाय टेकिंग द वाटर इट इज लाइक ब्रेकिंग द फास्ट, and it is also like not breaking the fast. The Shastra says in either way, by by taking water can be taken in both the categories. तो उन्होंने उनके बात मान के he just had a very small sip of water. बट दुर्वासा मुनि जो है, he has lot of mystic power. तो उन्होंने क्या किया? He understood that now this Durvasa Muni जो है, Durvasa Muni understood that Amrish Maharaj has taken some water. So he came back to his palace and he got so angry at Amrish Maharaj that he took out a little bit of hair from his head and he made a booth from that, and he sent the booth to devote the Amrish Maharaj. But Amrish Maharaj is a very ardent devotee of Krishna. He was completely dependent on Krishna. He just did not move even a bit. उन्होंने अपने हाथ को ऐसा ही रखा था, और he stood in a straight way, not even fearing, not even moving. And then what happened is Lord Krishna sent a Sudarshana Chakra, and the Sudarshana Chakra जो है, it chopped the head of this demon, जो दुर्वासा मुनि ने बनाया था. And after that, this Sudarshan Chakra did not spare Durvasa Muni also. The Sudarshan Chakra जो है, it was keep following the Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was running all over the 14 planetary system for one full year, and almost towards the end he entered the Brahmaloka, and he was trying to take the shelter of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma said, even I am the servant of Krishna, I cannot protect you from this condition, so better you go and approach Lord Krishna himself. And then, so in a vein, next he is going to Shivaloka, Sadashiv Ju Bhagwan, because he is a devotee of Lord Shiva. So with lot of hopes, he is entering into the Kailash, Lord Shiva's abode. Then Lord Shiva says that, even I am dependent on Krishna, even I am his servant, so I cannot do anything. And now Durvasa Muni को शौक हो गया, ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि ये जो आप मेरे भगवान हो, आई एम ऑलवेज वर्शिपिंग यू, हाउ कैन इट बी पॉसिबल दैट आप मुझे प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दे पा रहे हो? बट ही सेड, यस, I am also his servant. I also meditate on him. Shastra says that Lord Shiva is also Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. He is a foremost Vaishnava devotee and he is always meditating on Lord Vishnu or Shiva. Then finally, Durvasa Muni is entering the Vaikuntha Lok. And there he is able to see Vishnu. And Vishnu is saying that even I can't help you. Now Durvasa Muni got puzzled. He said that Brahmaji said he cannot help, and Shivji said he cannot help. They all said only you can help. And now you're saying that even you cannot help, then where else I can go? Then Vishnu is saying that I live in my devotee's heart and my devotees live in my heart. So Amrish Maharaj is such a dear devotee of mine that I cannot do anything against his will. So you better go to Amrish Maharaj. If he is excusing you, then you're excused. Then I cannot do anything over this. If I'm excusing you, that means that I'm not giving any protection to my devotees. You have tried to bother my devotee. Then if Krishna is giving protection to the one who bothered his devotee, that means Krishna is not giving protection to his own devotee, right? So he told him to go back to Amrish Maharaj. So now Durvasa Muni goes back to Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj was waiting for Durvasa Muni for 1 full year without taking anything, not even a sip of water. And he was waiting for Durvasa Muni. And he immediately excused Durvasa Muni and he offered him a big feast. And Durvasa Muni understood that how great is the quality of the Vaishnava. So, this pastime, I thought it is very important for us to know because Amrish Maharaj, in spite of being a king, he observed all his senses on Lord Krishna and he also followed the Ekadashi Vrata and he got a complete protection from Lord Vishnu in such a way that he gave him the highest position through this pastime. Okay, so this is about the astrological reason that we spoke. And then the last reason, coming to the spiritual reasons for following the Ekadashi. So, what happened is when Krishna, he created the universe. So, one by one, he is creating different types of living entities. So, after creating the different living entities, he is also creating a Papa Purusha. So a Papa Purusha, he is creating him with various things. The head is made up of the one who has killed a Brahmana. The hands is made up of one who has done lot of sinful activities. So like the thighs are like with the one who is having illicit relationship with other women. So like that, one who is taking intoxicant, one who is stealing. So all the sinful activities are taken one side and then this Papa Purusha is being created. So that anybody who does sinful reaction, this Papa Purusha is given an authority to take them and punish them. So now what happened is this Papa Purusha found so many sinful people and he took them to the Yamaraj's abodes and they were all put into a very hellish condition. Jo Srimad Bhagavad Puran, Mahapuran maybe there is a description of different types of hells. There are nearly 27 types of hell. Whatever the path we do, according to that path, we have to suffer in such a hell. So this Yamalok jo hai, it is now almost houseful. Every hell is full of sinful people. So once what happened is Vishnu is coming to see Yamaraj in the Yamalok. And when he was there, he could hear a lot of crying sound jo hai. He could hear people are crying, crying, crying. And Vishnu was very much worried. Why is that so much of crying sound that I hear? Then Yamaraj said that you have created a Papa Purusha, and because of that, this Papa Purusha has taken so many sinful people and he has put them all in different hell, and now they are all suffering from the punishment. So, Krishna being, very compassionate, so through his compassion and mercy came a female, and her name was Ekadashi. She appeared as a compassionate form of Krishna, appeared in the form of Ekadashi. Because Krishna jo hai, he is Bhakta Vatsal. Yes, sometimes we also punish our children because we wanted to discipline them. But at last, we are also his well wishers. We are not punishing them so that they should suffer. We are punishing them so that they rectify their mistakes. So Krishna also is giving us a hellish condition not to make us suffer life after life, or rather to help us to reform ourselves. But seeing the crying, the too much of crying sound of the people over there, so he is very much disturbed, because of which the compassionate form of Ekadashi comes. And she says that anyone who is chanting the glories of your name on this particular day, they will be coming out of all their sinful reactions. So, hearing this in the hell, the people who were all in the hell, they heard this voice of Ekadashi who said that if you are glorifying Lord Krishna, then you will come out of the sinful reactions. Generally, it is not possible to remember Krishna in the hellish condition, because the moment you are taking out the name of Krishna, that means you are getting liberated. But by hearing the voice of Lord Vishnu granting this boon to Ekadashi, then what happened is slowly, slowly, everybody is getting liberated by glorifying the Lord just by taking his name. Even if you say Narayana, that means that is one form of glorifying the Lord. They said Krishna, that is another form of glorifying the Lord. They said Padmanabha, it's another form of glorifying the Lord. So one by one, they all get released. And then what happens is Papa Purusha is now very much dejected. He says that now I have no work at all. You have created the Ekadashi, and she has given a boon that anybody who is taking my name, they will not incur any sinful reactions. आप ही ने मुझे create किया. Now give me a shelter. Where shall I go? Then he says, go wherever you want. But he says, Jagannath, you're the Lord of universe. You're present everywhere. Where will I go? There is no place for me to go. So then Krishna is saying, okay, I am giving you one place to go. So whenever this Ekadashi, she is active. So she is active because she appeared on the Ekadashi day. So she is active on that day. So what you do is you go and hide yourself in the grains. So go inside the grain and hide yourself. So whomsoever is eating the anna on that day, and they will be incurring all the sinful reactions of whatever in the previous lifetimes or this particular time lifetimes they get, they will have to incur the sins. So like that, they are getting into the, so that is why on this Ekadashi day, if we are eating anna, that means we are taking pap, because jo pap purush hai, he has hidden himself inside the anna. Okay, is it all clear so far? Abhi tak is everything clear? Am I going little fast or is it okay? Hare
No,
Krishna?
it's okay. You're not going fast.
It's okay.
Okay,
It's okay.
fine.
You can follow.
So there is another reason jo hai, and this is also another pastimes of this Ekadashi. So once there was a fearful demon whose name was Mura. And Mura was so powerful that he was easily defeating the demigods. So the demigods जो है, जो देवता लोग जो है, they were almost powerless in front of Mura. So they came to Vishnu to take his shelter. And when the demigods come to Vishnu, Vishnu got very angry at Mura. So he went to his capital city to fight against the Mura demon. And जो Mura demon जो है, he was very powerful. Initially, he was fighting with Lord Vishnu with his weapons, and later on, he removed all his weapons and he was using his fist and he was wrestling with Vishnu for 1,000 celestial years. So long he was fighting with Vishnu. And what happened after that is Vishnu is kind of getting fatigued, like he is doing his pastimes, and he is going to Badrikashrama and he is retiring himself in a cave called Hemavati. So he is going there to take some rest. And Murad demon, he's trying to follow where Lord Vishnu is, and somehow or the other, he found out that Vishnu is lying down in the cave. So he goes inside the cave and he is making a plan now. Now I am going to kill this Hari. He is just sleeping. Now I am all powerful. So let me take this opportunity and let me just kill the Hari and let me be the winner of the demigods and everything. So I'll be the winner of this, and I'll be ruling over the universe, like that he thinks. And during that time, what happened is a very effulgent woman comes out of Lord Vishnu's body, and she is very powerful, and she fights with Mura single-handedly. And when Mura was about to, attack her, and in a violent way, she takes out and she cuts off his head and she slays the Mura. And then Vishnu, he wakes up from his slumber and he's very astonished to see who is this lady who came. And then the Ekadashi, she says that Ekadashi, I am one of your servants. So I came to help you to protect the situation against the demon. So now Krishna is very satisfied with this Ekadashi. So he is asking her, okay, you have given me protection in under this condition. So ask me for a boon. What boon do you want? So Ekadashi jo hai, she is telling that on this particular day, whomsoever is doing the fasting, I wanted you to give them all the benediction that they come to your spiritual abode. You please take away all their sinful reactions and ensure that they come to your spiritual world. And Krishna says, yes, I will surely fulfill your bones. So these are the two pastimes that are related spiritually why we have to follow the Ekadashi. Okay. Any particular questions you have on these two pastimes? Okay. And I would also like to read out some of the quotes on the Ekadashi. Thousands of Ashwamedha yajnas and hundreds of Rajasuya yajnas are not even equal to the 1/16th part of fasting on Ekadashi. So can we understand? So अगर हम कितना भी यज्ञ करते हैं कितने भी करते हैं but just fasting on Ekadashi is so powerful that they are of no use. So Ekadashi fasting is very very important. And other quote from from Garga Samhita also says that all the sins done by all the 11 senses are destroyed by observing Ekadashi with devotion. So, okay, now we may ask, just by fasting on Ekadashi, can we come out of all our sinful reactions or can we satisfy Krishna? Yes, fasting is important, but what is the reason for us to fast? The reason for us to fast is, as I told in the beginning of the class, to keep the requirements of our body to a very minimum level, that we don't spend much time in eating. When we eat more, we feel like resting more, and we feel like, lot of activities are going around the eating activity. We spend more time in kitchen cooking for it, and we spend time in eating, we spend time in cleaning. So what happens is, by doing all these activities, we are not able to absorb our time on Hari. So that is the main reason why we are fasting, so that we can increase our absorption on Lord Hari. Otherwise, we are not able to spend so much of time in absorption of Lord Hari. So that is why we are fasting. Okay. And there is also another sayings, a person who performs Ekadashi attains the result of performing austerities for 10,000 years. So can we understand how difficult it is for us to follow the austerity for 10,000 years? And that benefit we are getting just by following the Ekadashi. So therefore, following the Ekadashi is very important for us. Okay. And I would also like to read some quotes from Prabhupada's books on this particular Ekadashi day. So, from the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada has mentioned that in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it is said that one who observes fasting on Ekadashi day is freed from all kinds of reaction to sinful activities and advances in pious life. The basic principle is not just to fast, but to increase one's faith and love for Govinda or Krishna. The real reason for observing fasting on Ekadashi is to minimize the demands of the body and to engage our time in the service of Lord by chanting or performing similar service. The best thing to do on fasting days is to remember the pastimes of Govinda and to hear his holy name constantly. And in another quote where Prabhupada has mentioned, in devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadashi, and on the appearance day of Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatma, the great souls, strictly follow all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired results. Okay, so we can see that Prabhupada has also glorified Ekadashi, and for all of us who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, who wants to be very dear to the Lord. As we all know that our real constitutional position jo hai, Jivera Swarupa hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. We are all his eternal servants of Krishna. So if we are the servants of Krishna, what is the duty of the servant? The duty of the servant is to
Serve the Lord.
serve the master, right? So who is our master here? Krishna is our master.
Krishna.
And as we already said, this Ekadashi is called as Madhava Tithi, or it is called Harivasa Rasa. So Ekadashi day, we can, in fact, if we are able to increase our sadhana on Ekadashi. So one, if possible, one can even extend his night. You can try to stay awake for little longer duration. If you're trying to sleep by 10 o'clock, maybe you can try to extend by another 1 hour or more, and try to engage yourself in reading the pastimes of Krishna, or hearing the pastimes of Krishna, or reciting Bhagavad Gita, or chanting, increasing the chanting rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, serving the deity. You can, if you're having any deity, you can bath your deity, and you can wear some beautiful clothes for your deity, and you can offer some very nice flowers and incense, and you can worship your deity with very nice paraphernalia on that particular day. And you can try to associate with the devotees, and you can distribute books, uh, Krishna conscious literatures. So all those things that we do on this particular day is manifested in a very high way. Suppose on a normal day, whatever the effect of chanting we are getting, and whatever the effect of chanting that we are getting for our spiritual service on Ekadashi, is 10 times more than the normal day. Suppose you are chanting 16 rounds on a normal day, and on an Ekadashi day, if you are chanting 16 rounds, that means you are chanting 160 rounds. Okay. And now today we will be specifically talking about the Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. So why is this particular Ekadashi jo hai, jo Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi hai, why is it more special than the other 23 Ekadashis? Okay, so the pastime of this goes like this. So we all know that Bhima, he was a very voracious eater. Because why he was a voracious eater? He was Vayuputra, right? So he was always getting hungry. So even whenever the Pandavas, when they were in exile, whatever the food that they used to collect and come, it so happened that 50% of the food that they got, Kunti and all the other four brothers used to eat, and the rest 50% of the food, Prashadam, is taken by Bhima. So Bhima was a very voracious eater. He used to feel hungry all the time. He just keeps on eating. And I don't know, some of you must have also heard about this pastime of this demon, this Asura Bakasura in Mahabharata. So Bakasura was a very fearsome demon and Asura. So he was demanding that every day the villager has to bring him a cart of the food, and one man, Narabali, should be given to him. So it so happened that once it was a turn of Pandavas, that, Kunti Maharani has to send one of her son with a cart load of food to Bakasura, because this is what the uh, kind of, the deal that they had with this Bakasura. So Bhima is taking the cart load of food to this Bakasura. And what happened is, on the way, while Bhima is going to Bakasura, he almost finishes the entire cart of food. So by the time he reaches Bakasura, there is hardly nothing for him to eat. And Bakasura, he gets very ferocious, saying, "Where is my food?" And at last, Bhima had a fight with him and he kills the Bakasura. But we can understand, from this pastime, how voracious eater was this Bhima. So what happened is, Bhima was worried because Ekadashi is a day very dear to Krishna. And he found that everybody else was following Ekadashi, like Yudhishthir, Arjun, Nakul, Sakadev, Kunti, they were all following the Ekadashi. However, he was not able to follow Ekadashi because it was almost impossible for him to stay hungry for 24 days in a month, right? Because there are two Ekadashis a month. So in a year, there are 24 Ekadashi in a month. So which was very difficult for Bhima to do. So he is approaching the Vyasadev. Vyasadev is also the Parampita. And he is expressing his concern. What do I do? Will I not be able to get Krishna's abode because I am not able to follow Ekadashi? Because I have heard that without following Ekadashi, it is very difficult for us to reach the Krishna's abode. So Vyasadeva is saying that in the Shukla Paksh, we know no, there are two Paksha, Shukla Paksh and Krishna Paksh. Shukla Paksh is the light, is the waxing, and the Krishna Paksh is the waning, is the dark side of the thing. So in the Jeshta month, during the Shukla Paksh, that Ekadashi which comes, during that Ekadashi, if you are keeping a fasting, it is equal for you to fast all the 24 Ekadashi. So a special exemption is given to Bhima because he is not able to follow all the Ekadashis. So by following this Ekadashi, you can get the benefit of following all the 24 Ekadashis. So this applies even for us also. In case if we have done any mistakes in Ekadashi, some of them have been following Ekadashi, but maybe it may so happen that हमने कुछ अन्न खा लिया, कुछ ठीक से पारणा टाइम नहीं कर पाया, कुछ हो गया. But by following the Ekadashi, this particular Nirjal Ekadashi या Pandav Nirjal Ekadashi, the benefits of this 24 Ekadashis we can receive. Okay. And next, who has to follow the Ekadashi? So, all the people, the devotees who are from the age 8 to 80. Shastra says, so those who are below 8 years and those who are above 80 years, they are exempted from fasting from Ekadashi. And secondly, for those people who are already taking some tablets, some medications for diabetes or hypertension, please take your medicines. Because you're taking medicine, that doesn't mean that you are breaking the fast. So medicines are exempted from this and nothing or anything because it is saving our life. So you have to take your medicines. And the third thing is, suppose if you're having any chronic illness like chronic situations like diabetes or other thing, then just please take care of your health, take care of your glucose level. What you can do is you can try to take at least the fasting that is like for example like sabudhana or like varai or like some bugger or some fruits or something like that so that you don't get into the hypoglycemia level, below your sugar levels. So rest all of us, we can try to follow this Nirjala Ekadashi or this Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi, which is coming, and we can try to take the complete mercy of Lord Krishna on by following the Ekadashi on this particular day. Okay. And any questions on this particular topic? Is everything clear? Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
I have one question, like
Yeah.
regarding the fasting of Ekadashi.
Yeah.
So, like some people have like no without tea, like they can stay without
Yeah.
food and all,
Yeah.
grains, fruits and
Yeah.
all. But tea is must. If they don't take a cup of tea, the headache and everything starts.
Yeah.
Then, so what
Mm.
about that? Like, can we have tea?
Actually, Mataji, generally tea is not allowed because tea comes under the category of intoxicant because of the caffeine content in it. So generally, the devotees, we refrain from taking coffee and tea even on a regular basis. So at least what you can do is, yes, it will be little difficult, but at least what you can do is in the initial stage, before the sunrise, If it is too much bothering you, try to take the tea before the sunrise, so that will help you for some portion of the day.
Okay.
At least try to follow from the sunrise to the next sunrise as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
And one more thing is, suppose if you're following the Nirjal Ekadashi, you can break the fast with water. If you're doing the Ekadashi with water, you can break it with some fruit juice or something like that, some liquids. If you're doing with some liquids, then you can break it with some fruit or something. If you're fasting with the fruit, then you can break with some non-grains like sabudana or other thing. If you're fasting with the sabudana or the other thing, then you can break the fast with the grains. Okay. And if you're fasting with the grains, Shastra says that we go to hell. So better let's not try to take grains. As I said, unless otherwise we have a very serious medical condition, but there are so many non-grains jo hai, they are equally good enough to keep us healthy. Okay. I mean, keep our sugar levels. For example, I will send the list of the items that are allowed to be taken on an Ekadashi day. So, for people, for devotees who are very new, if it is becoming difficult to follow the full fast Ekadashi, so what you can do this particular Nirjal Ekadashi, at least try to be on Nirjal as much as you can. Maybe for half a day, and another thing that we can do is we get the fruits like shingada during the season. And these fruits, they are very good in the water content. So what you can do is before the sunrise, we can offer some shingada fruit to Krishna, and we can take that fruit, and that will help us from getting thirsty. And try to abstain from grain from the previous day evening itself. That is, tomorrow is Dashami on Monday evening. So from tomorrow evening, please don't take grains, because what happens is when we take grains, to digest the grains, the body requires more and more water, because as I just said, that taking the grains, you need takes more absorption of water. So if at all you cannot uh, be without taking anything, tomorrow evening you can try to take something like some fruit salad or something very simple, or some sabudana or some varai, something. Try to get some non-grain dinner tomorrow night if possible, because that will help you to stay with Nirjal to a little longer phase or to a larger phase. Again, as I said, please see to your health condition. Don't do anything that can upset. अगर आप करते करते, if you are getting too much of headache, and if you are not able to do anything, and if your bodily demands is putting you too much in the thing, it's better to take something and please Lord Krishna by chanting his holy names, or by reading some Bhagavad Gita, or by reading some pastimes of Krishna, or by hearing something about Krishna, or doing some kirtan, rather than sitting with a headache in the name of fasting, and doing nothing in the service of Krishna. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
One
Yeah.
small doubt.
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji.
One small doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose you have fruits. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next day you can have anna breaking.
Next day.
Next day by breaking the fast you can have anna, na?
Yeah,
Like
you can
rice.
have Anna, but generally we go one step ahead. For example, you can break with some sabudana like that, but it is
Okay.
not a
Okay.
must. You can break with the Anna also, not
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay.
Either you can do
Okay.
that way, but if it is too difficult because you are working, you have to make a separate preparation for that,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You can just break
Okay.
with the
Okay.
Anna.
Okay. Thank you.
Everybody has to follow with break with the Anna. And one more thing is, because we are already fasting for almost like 36 hours, let's not immediately eat too much, because that will also cause some disturbance in the stomach. So what you can do is, you can try to take some fruit juice, and try to take a little quantity, and not to take a heavy breakfast or something, and get the body into a little bit of balance, so that we can get into the
Okay.
stability from this fasting. We have our Uma Mataji, who is a biology teacher. She can help us to understand more on this, on the biological aspects.
So you
Would
can
you
have
like to say
sabudana,
something,
na? You
Mataji, on
told
this?
you can have
Put
sabudana.
some. Yes,
You
Mataji?
can have sabudana, na?
Yeah, we
When
can
she
have.
breaks.
See, again, as I said, important thing is don't take grains on Ekadashi.
Okay.
Let
No,
us
not
try to
Ekadashi, fast breaking.
fast breaking. Yes, if you're doing the fruit
Yeah.
fasting, then you can break with sabudana.
Okay. Okay.
But
Thank
if you're breaking with anna also, there's nothing wrong
No
about
problem.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if time permits. So because
Okay.
as I said, our major absorption should be in Krishna, in chanting
Okay.
his names. And if you're working on that particular day, you can talk to your colleagues about Krishna. You can
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to
sure, sure.
distribute some Bhagavad Gita books, or you can
Sure,
try to
sure.
distribute some literatures. We can always try to please Krishna, and in whatever situation we are. So
Yes,
that
right,
is
right,
the beauty
right.
of Krishna consciousness. Yes, Mataji?
Yes, right.
Yeah. So we can
Ex-
try. Doesn't matter if somebody is hearing or not hearing. That is not our problem. Krishna says, Yare deko tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Lord Krishna himself, said, whomsoever we see, talk about Krishna. He didn't tell us to make them devotee, but he told us to talk to them about Krishna. So what in case somebody has heard about Krishna and today they are attending the class and they are becoming the devotees? Yes. I think some of the experience, I think Sneha Mataji, Neha, I think I met you all in the book distribution in the train, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So today, because of that book distributions, they are hearing more about Krishna. They have taken the devotional process little more seriously. So for all of us who are going out of the home, I request you all to please carry at least few small books of Krishna conscious literature and try to distribute to your fellow passengers or anybody. Just tell, these are some literatures based on Bhagavad Gita, and we can tell them, we are constantly suffering from birth, death, old age, and disease. So if we want to get freedom from that, read these literatures. In a simple way, doesn't matter. During the initial days, Prabhupada made the devotees to distribute books on the very second day when they joined the movement. They didn't know anything about Krishna consciousness. They just came. He said, just go and tell them, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manmanabha Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, become my devotee and attend my pay my obeisances like that and offer your homage to me, and then you will come back to me. That's all. Like that simple slokas we can quote on Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 66 sloka, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, or 65th sloka, Manmanabha Matbhakto. These slokas are very, very powerful when we recite, the people, it acts on them when we recite the words spoken by Krishna himself, because it is Krishna who is speaking, not us. So that will have an impact on the fellow passengers or whomsoever we meet, because whatever mercy we got, we should try to distribute it to others. By giving to others, we get more. It doesn't get diminished. By giving more, we get more. So I request all of you to please take some efforts to distribute the Krishna conscious literature. It's okay whether they are, but something, every soul is longing for this. Every soul wants to, because this Krishna consciousness, it is dormant in everyone's heart. How could Prabhupada going to the US, how could you cannot make a devotee within a month, because this Krishna consciousness it is already there in a person, and all he did is he revived it. So everybody has Krishna in their heart. Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisanni vishto matta smritirjnana apohanam cha. So I am reciting in everyone's heart. From me comes forgetfulness, knowledge, and remembrance. So when we are giving the literature of Krishna, or when we are giving, then what happens is the knowledge from the forgetful stage, they come to the knowledge stage, okay, and remembrance stage. So we have to awaken the people. We have to awaken them. Please understand what is your real position. We are not a product of this world. We belong to the spiritual world. We do not belong to this place. That's why whatever we do, we are not able to get 100% happiness here, isn't it? Did anybody felt any time, any part of your life, did you receive 100% happiness in this life? Did it happen to any one of us? But for all those who have taken Krishna consciousness, we are all in different level, in the sadhaka level. But having coming to this path, even the baby steps we have taken, aren't we not feeling more happy than before? How many of you are having that experience? You can just share one or two words and then we can end the class.